I'm sure that there's no chance that you'll be coming, but do you plan on being at the wedding? I'm only asking this just to see what you'll say, really. You're not coming to the wedding, right? Excuse me? Kylie? What are you talking about right now? Are you talking about the wedding between you and my son that's coming up? What other wedding would I be talking about right now? I want to know about my wedding only. Or have you completely gone off the deep end now? I'm not going crazy, Kylie. Rather, I'm just a bit shocked by the question you've asked is all. So if you really are talking about my own son's wedding, then of course I'll be going. I already went and got myself a new dress to wear for the occasion, and my son himself invited me to it. I wonder why you'd ask me such an absurd question in the first place. What? Are you actually planning on coming to our wedding then? No way. Listen, old woman, you're just a low-life cleaning lady, all right? Which means you'd better think twice before you choose to come. Excuse me? Did you just call me low-life? Have you really not become aware of that yet? I know that you talk about yourself so highly sometimes, just like your son talks about you, but in reality, you're just a measly cleaning lady, right? Don't tell me you're still planning to have a relationship with the two of us after the wedding. I would hate to have you thinking that's actually possible. You'd look like a beggar at that point. Kylie, what exactly makes you think that sort of attitude towards me and my job is acceptable right now? I have no idea what's gotten into you. I am Brennan's mother, your fiance's mother. I have raised that man to be who he is today as a single mother. I have had to jump many walls in my life to get where I am, and that is an overnight cleaning lady. I am very proud of myself for getting to this point, and that can be seen by the fact that I've been working this job for 20 years now. I don't think that it's correct of you to call me a lowlife just because I'm a cleaning lady. Also, if Brennan was to ever hear you say something like that about me, then he'd be very upset. I have no idea what you keep running your mouth about right now. Can't I say something like that to Brennan about you? I know that he thinks the exact same thing as me, so nothing would ever change. If anything, I'm sure he'd be glad to hear me say what's on my mind and would encourage us keeping you away. What I plan to do right now, though, is cut ties to you so that Brennan never even has to be part of this. He has much more on his mind than you think, like his job and this wedding, and I wouldn't want you getting in the way of that. Huh? When you say you'll cut ties to me, do you mean that as in not viewing me as your family? I never thought that I'd be told something like that by my son's partner. Kylie, I think that currently the way you're talking to me is not okay whatsoever. Do you not feel the same about that? I was hoping that after you married my son, I could strengthen my ties with you and we could be happy together, like mother and daughter. And what I'm saying is that I don't want to become family to you. Please don't take any of this the wrong way, all right? I really have no want in becoming your family. Actually, I don't want you to ever talk to your son or I ever again, please. There is no way I can do something like that for you. He is my son and I am his mother. We would never ever agree to stop talking to one another. I think you need to start being more careful with what you're saying to me, Kylie. I'm sure the life of being a beggar is a quite difficult one, but I really cannot be bothered with you anymore. I don't think of you as anything to me but a stranger, so leave me the hell alone. Please and thank you. You're saying please and thank you after something like that? Brennan, I have something I'd really like to ask you right now. Do you have a moment?
Hey, what's up, Mom? It's a bit late now, so make it quick. What happened?
This is about your fiancée, Kylie. Do you feel that she really doesn't like me all too much? I'm a little worried about her feelings towards me, and I'd love for her and I to become closer to one another.
What are you going on about, Mom? I don't think there's anything going on between you and her. No problem at all. Just the other day, she was finally able to meet you in person and seemed really happy about that. She couldn't even stop talking about all the fun things she wanted to do with you after we got married, which was even a shock to me.
What? Are you sure about that? I didn't know she was happy after that. From what I've picked up, I don't think she likes me that much due to the kind of work I do for a living.
Wait, why would you think that? Why do you think she cares about your job? Does she even know what you do for a living? Because I never told her anything.
I told her a little bit about what I've been doing while you were in the bathroom because she'd asked me about how I've been able to support you since your father left. And so I told her I work as a cleaning lady for a few different office buildings and do so overnight most of the time. Anyway, it's just that with a job like being an overnight cleaning lady, a lot of people don't see that as a good job. I sort of felt that she was thinking the same thing as I told her that. And I'm getting this feeling now that she doesn't fully understand the kind of work I do and what company office buildings I'm helping clean. Also, you happen to be working for a very large company and can be seen as an elite by everyone around you. So when you compare your job to what I do for a living, maybe she had higher expectations for me or something.
There's no reason to be comparing my career to yours, though. What happened to you, Mom? You've never been worried about people thinking things like that about your career before, right? And so far, Kylie hasn't brought up anything about you. And I like to think that you're doing a very important job. In my case, it's because you've been working a job like that all your life that I was able to go and graduate from a university and land a job in this company making a lot of money. There's really no reason for you to be getting all worried about the kind of work you're doing, okay?
That's a good point. Somehow I think I just misunderstood things between myself and Kylie. Maybe it's just my age showing here, and I'm not that good at interpreting what others say over text. Hopefully the next time I talk with her, things will become a little bit more clear to me, and I can stop questioning what she thinks.
I'm not sure what you're really talking about, Mom. Do you at least feel better now?
I'm fine, I think. Sorry for getting you all worried about something that was probably my fault to begin with. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to your guys' wedding coming up soon. I never thought I'd see you walking in here like that, Anise. There's no place at this wedding for you, so get out of here right now. Kylie, please watch your mouth when speaking to me. I was thinking that I just misunderstood some things since we had both been texting, but perhaps I was wrong. I can tell there really has been something going on with you regarding me. Are you really telling me to leave this wedding venue right now? You think I'd be joking about something as serious as this? It's not even funny that you came all the way out here. Hurry up and go home, please. You are a disgrace to us all, you low-life cleaning lady. Is that what you think then? So you're not joking around at all. I guess I should have been more direct with Brennan when I was talking about you with him. At least I can say now that you do indeed look down on me for the kind of work I do. I want to know, what were you planning by coming here and sitting in on our wedding? Did you come all the way out here to eat all our delicious foods? Is that because you normally can't eat anything other than scraps? I feel so bad for you, but there's no food here today that's been prepared for you to have. There is no place for you here, so how about you go away? If you're still going to say things like that, then I think I'm going to have to fight back. How about instead of you trying to fight me, you go the hell home? We never asked any of the staff to make any food for a cleaning lady like you. If you really want to be at our wedding today, then I suppose you can go stand in the back and watch. I'll go home, but you better not regret the choices you've made today, all right? I'd never regret any of this. If anything, I'm feeling really refreshed now that I've told you to screw off. You're just getting in our way by being here. And one last thing. After this, you will never talk to Brennan or I ever again. The both of us don't want to live our lives with some beggar constantly following us around and asking for money and food. I'm not too sure you and Brennan think the same thing about that. But so be it. I've heard enough from you and will go now. Just don't be getting all upset about things when you realize that you're regretting the choices you've made. I don't care about you anymore, so I won't be sitting around listening to you. If you really think that it's okay to talk to your fiance's mother like that, your mother-in-law, then I'm done here. Stop blabbering on about it and go away! You low-life old hag! Goodbye forever then, Kylie. I hope to never see you again now, and I'm positive I won't. Anise, where are you right now? Right now things aren't going too well for me here. Do you think that you can come back to the wedding venue for me, please? I would really like to start my wedding soon, so please come back. Right now Brennan is looking all over for you. What was that? And what the hell are you trying to talk to me about right now? I'm back home at my house now, and that is what you asked me to do before cutting ties to me. But right now, Brennan is worried that something might have happened to you and isn't allowing his wedding to start until he's found you. So right now, we haven't been able to do anything because he's running all over the venue asking people if they've seen you. So do you think you can hurry up and come back here? I don't want him worrying about where I am anymore, so I've gone and sent him a text telling him I'm at home. What? You sent Brennan a text saying that? What all did you say to him? I told him that I'm back at home right now and the reason as to why I had to leave his wedding and come home. He's calling me now, so I'm going to answer his call. What? Huh? You didn't say anything to him about me kicking you out of here, right? You didn't say anything unnecessary to him about us, right? Anise? Hello? Answer me right now, please. Didn't we make a promise to never tell Brennan anything about this? Do you plan to have our marriage fall apart or something? Anise! Are you even reading my texts or anything anymore? I don't ever remember you and I making a promise to never tell Brennan about what you did. So tell me, Kylie, what the hell are you talking about now? I know, but you should have understood that something like the situation we were in was a private one. You knew there was no reason to be telling him anything about all of that, right? Well, I told him everything. Everything about what you'd said and done to me. What? Right now, Brennan is completely shocked after what he had to hear about you. He had really believed in you and thought that you were a lot better than you really are. What? Are you being serious right now about that? Why would you need to do something so needless? Don't you think that your own behavior and speaking was unnecessary? Well, it's too late now to think back on that, as I understand how you feel about me, and I had to let my son know that. He was the one worried about where I was when he called, and he has the right to know the truth about what you told me. Wait, I told you! You have taken things way too far now by telling him all about that. You've made a huge mistake telling him literally everything about what happened between you and I, right? Had you been thinking about what's to come for Brennan and I next, you shouldn't have said anything like that to him. Kylie, what are you going on about right now? Really, I'd like to know where all of this is coming from. Because there is nothing left for you and Brennan after this now. What? What do you mean there's nothing for Brennan and I after this? I don't know what you mean by that. Have you talked with your fiancé at all yet, since I've called him? Or are you avoiding him now in order to hide yourself from what he has to say about what's next for you two? Well, I'll let you know what he has to say. That wedding of yours is now canceled, and you both will no longer be getting married. That's what he was telling me after he heard the big news. No. There's no way he actually meant all of that. Can't you tell what he was saying was a joke? It was not a joke, Kylie. But I have nothing else to really say to you now, so you're going to have to confront him and talk about your guys' situation amongst one another. Please. I know before you were really wanting for us to cut ties to one another, but after what you've done here, that will very much be happening now. Thank goodness, right? Now, I'll be going. Anise, I would really like to talk with you. Could you please listen to me and be a mediator for Brennan and I as we talk? If you don't step in and help us talk, then we really won't be able to marry one another. It's already been enough trouble having our whole wedding be canceled like that today. Anise, you don't want for your son and I to be troubled and stressed out by all of this, correct? From the bottom of my heart, I am so happy to hear that my son will no longer be getting married to you. Are you aware of that? What? Why would you say something like that right now? Think of the way you're speaking to me. Right now, I am completely heartbroken by what's all going on. My heart is in pieces now. Think about the way you talk to strangers, please. What you've just said, I'll say right back to you. Think about the way you talk to strangers, please. What? Did you think about the way I felt before you started to say all of those things you said? I'm not too sure you did think about my feelings then. You started off by talking down to me because I happen to be an overnight cleaning lady, as though I'm worth nothing at all and live a life in poverty. And then come my son's wedding, you told me to leave and said even more insults about me. Then, in the end, I really did have to go home because you didn't want to take back all of those horrible things you said. Were you really thinking about what you were saying to me then? How about you think twice next time before letting things like that slip out of your mouth? Wait, when you say it all like that, you make me feel like I've done something wrong. Aren't you aware that my wedding was canceled on me today and that my fiancé is telling me he no longer wants to marry me anymore? Don't you feel bad for me after having to deal with all of this? Anise, please go and tell your son something to set him straight. It's going to cost a lot of money having our wedding canceled like that. And if we really do end up not getting married because of all this, then I'm going to ask for a settlement. If you really think you can do something like that, then go ahead and try. Huh? Why are you acting all tough now? You're the one that's going to be embarrassed after having me ask you for a settlement. People like you. You really are all the scum of the earth. Thank God Brennan isn't going to be getting married to you. Now, do you really think you're in the position to be getting a settlement from me? What are you trying to say to me? Of course I'm in the position to do that. The perfect position. I had to have my wedding canceled on me before it could even start, and will most likely end up losing my man. I have every right to get that settlement from you. I am the victim in this situation. Did you know, Kylie, that I happen to be the one working as the cleaning lady for the building you're employed in? What? I know what you've been doing in that office building during the evening when I come in there to clean the place. I even have evidence of all that, and that means I can go right ahead and let Brennan know what's been going on. And, depending on what he would want to do, he can use that evidence I have and get a settlement from you. Wait a second, Anise. That building you're cleaning, it's the one I've been dispatched to temporarily? You're lying, right? You've really been working there during the evening? That's right. And that means I completely understand what you've been doing there after hours, Kylie. So no matter how you try to talk your way out of this, there's no escaping. I have solid evidence of what you've been up to. Have you shown all of that to Brennan already? Why would you be working at that building during the time I'm there? This is far from good. The worst outcome. I haven't shown or told him anything yet. And the reason why is because I don't want to hurt my son any more than he already is. Don't think that I'm withholding this information from him to protect you. Kylie, you pay for that whole wedding yourself, and do so soon. And then, don't you ever show your face in front of us again, or even contact my son and I. I'm sure, though, that after today, you won't want to come around or talk to us anyway. Hold on a sec. You have it all wrong, Anise. I really wanted to be married to Brennan, I swear. I already quit my job now, thinking that I'd be getting married to him today. Please don't make me suffer any more than I've already had to. You were already told everything by Brennan, right? About how he respects me as his mother because I raised him all by myself without the help of a husband. He always makes sure that I'm okay, and I think of him as the most important person to me. And what he's told me is that he can never be married to someone who would dare disrespect me and say that we'd need to cut ties to one another. He will never, ever marry someone like you who thinks that an overnight cleaning lady like myself is a lowlife. You must have thought that you were on top of the world this whole time because you found yourself a man who makes hundreds of thousands a year. And you thought you could get away with acting so horrendously because of that. Right? But right as you were about to have everything, it was all taken away from you because you acted out of line. Way out of line, as a matter of fact. You are a monster, disguising yourself as a kind and lovable little girl. A monster? You are being way too toxic now, Anise. I seriously wanted to be married to Brennan because I love him. It was never anything about the love I have for him, and I never meant to act out of line. I had just finally finished that temporary dispatch to that office and was not planning to ever go back there. That's why I quit and was going to become his housewife. But now he no longer wants to marry me, so what am I going to do? Who knows? How about you find yourself a part-time job working as an overnight cleaning lady? However, I'm sure that someone with your character wouldn't even be able to last a week before quitting because you're so shallow and weak. Really, thank God my son never got married to you before finding out the true monster you are. This is goodbye forever from me now. I told you before, right? Not to regret any of the choices you were making. Anise, did you tell Brennan about that? You were the one telling me you didn't want to hurt him anymore, and that's why you weren't going to say anything. Right now, I'm being asked to pay him a lot as a settlement. What the hell is going on here, Anise? Excuse me? What are you going on about now, Kylie? I have no clue what you're talking about this time. There's no point in playing dumb with me. You went and showed Brennan all of that evidence of me cheating on him. Now that you've gone and done that, there's no chance for me and him to get married anymore. We were just about to get back together and rekindle all of our love. Ugh. I have no clue what you're trying to blame me for right now, but I had nothing to do with that. Also, I highly doubt that my son was going to rekindle anything with you since that love is all ashes now. Brennan does not love you anymore, and he never will after what he's had to learn. Then tell me how he found out about all of that. You are lying to me right now, and I know it. Kylie, how about you cut all that crap out and get real about everything? If you continue to get upset with me like that, you're never going to get anything in return, and nothing will change. Well, there's nothing I can do for you anymore, though. Just get over the fact that Brennan has found out about you cheating and learn from your obvious mistakes. And then leave the two of us alone and go live your life somewhere else. I'm sure your parents and family are worried about you right now, right? They aren't worried about me. They told me that I'm an embarrassment to them all. And now I can no longer go back to my parents' house again. Right now I have no place to call home. Is that right? Well, that's too bad, actually. But that has all happened because of the choices you made. This is all your fault, Anise! Kylie, the longer you continue to blame others like that, the less likely it is that you'll learn to make up for your mistakes and move on with life. You had a really good life coming your way with Brennan, but you stabbed him in the heart and cheated on him. And I bet that your whole family was really excited to see you marry the man you loved. But you went and burnt all those bridges you had and will now have to learn to live without them, as well as learn how to live with the mistakes you've made while taking responsibility for them. Don't forget what you've done, Kylie. But there are no buts here. You know that already, don't you? And you know that no matter what you try and say to me, there will be nothing I can do. Now, that's it. I have nothing else to say to you about what you've done. Kylie, how about from now on you think about strangers' feelings before you say anything or do anything? That would be the best way to handle things. Goodbye forever and ever.
I'm so sorry that things didn't go as planned, and that my wedding ended up being a thud. At least things have calmed down for me now, so I'll be coming back home to see you, okay?
And how did things end with Kylie and you? I heard from her that she was being asked to pay you a settlement or something. Is that correct?
She did have to because she cheated on me at her office. I had no other choice, Mom. If I didn't do that, I would have never been able to live with things.
What? So you really did know about that?
Of course I knew, Mom. I also knew that you had been working at the exact same building where Kylie had been placed.
What's going on here? How did you learn about all of that? I never said anything to you about anything.
So you knew all about what she'd been doing as well, huh? Well, since that's the case, this conversation will go a lot quicker. And that reason of me knowing about her cheating is why I never went to the courthouse with her before our wedding and got married. I knew that she was with another man at work, but I also really thought that you and her got along well, and I didn't want to disappoint you by breaking off things with her. I wanted you to be happy seeing your little boy get married, you know?
So then, you were going to get married for my sake, Brennan?
Well, that's spot on, actually. I had evidence of her cheating on me, but I wanted to make sure that you were proud of me, Mom, so I chose not to take any action at the time. But it probably was a good thing that things ended up this way and we didn't get married.
Brennan, you should never do something like that.
But you said that me getting married made you feel relieved.
But if you getting married wasn't going to make you happy, then there's no point in doing it. From now on, don't you ever do something as stupid as that again. I want you to be happy with the choices you make, especially when it involves a huge choice like getting married.
Alright, Mom. Sorry for almost doing that.
Oh, you don't have to apologize to me for it, though. But please remember that the only thing that will make me happy is seeing you be happy. Don't you forget that, alright?
Alright.
And just know, I will never be upset or worried about you needing to get married or not. So take things at your own pace, because I'll be proud of you either way.
Well, you'd better be around for a little while longer, because I want you to be there when I really do get married.
Of course I'm going to be around for a little while longer. I'm not that old. But remember, your life isn't about what makes me happy, but what makes you happy. So while you're out discovering what all makes you happy and who makes you happy, I'll be praying for you. It turned out that Brennan was a lot more on top of things than I was in the end, so it didn't come as much of a shock to him that he needed to leave Kylie and end their talks about marriage. I am very relieved to know that now, but I hope from here on out he thinks about who and what he wants more, and about whether or not those things will make him happy. He's told me that he will be needing some time to relax, though, after that huge mess, and that means he's taking 2 weeks off to go and travel Europe and spend some time with an old friend of his. I don't remember a whole lot about her, but Brennan had always hung out with her when they were in high school and even during his years in college when he was back home for summer break. I always found her more fit for him, and he seemed to have a crush on her the whole time, but nothing was ever able to happen since she had to move back to her home country. If those feelings still exist between them, then I hope they rekindle that fire, and I get to hear from Brennan later that he's found himself a new woman. As for myself, I'm still working my job as an overnight cleaning lady and most likely will be for the next couple of years. However, Brennan was right about me getting old, and if I save up a little bit more money, I should be able to retire. Who knows how things will be by that time, but if I'm able to, I'd love to move closer to my son and spend the later years of my life around him again. I have no idea where Kylie is right now or what she's up to, but I really hope that wherever she's ended up at, she's learned to take responsibility for herself and find joy in being honest and kind. Although I'm sure with the harsh and selfish attitude she has, finding joy in life will be very difficult for her. It's good to hear that she was at least able to pay off the settlement that my son asked her for, although I'm not positive whether she was able to do that with her own savings or if she had to take out a loan or something. And considering the fact that she also had to pay for her whole wedding that she caused to be canceled, I don't think there was anything left in her savings account anyway.
Is my ugly little sister still alive at all? Having to live life with a face like that, I cannot believe you made it this far in life without offing yourself yet.
Tracy, it's been a long while, hasn't it? What do you have for me this time that took so long for you to prepare?
So that's the attitude you're going to have with me. I thought you would have been a whole lot more happy to hear from your amazingly gorgeous older sister again. How about you start giving your older sister a little more respect, as that's what she deserves for looking this good.
I have no idea what you're going on about right now. Tell me what you want.
Well, whatever. I know that you ugly people have no common sense anyway, so I'll just get on with it. So have you heard what's going on with me?
What are you talking about? So far, you haven't told me anything about yourself besides the fact that you're still a dick. I don't have time to listen to you blabber on all day, so hurry this up.
You haven't heard a single thing about me getting married?
What? You're getting married? Well, congrats, I guess. I'm sure that Mom and them are all happy for you, right?
They sure are. All of them are so excited that they get to see me getting married. I knew they'd all be so happy to see their cute, older daughter getting married. They have to be, since they all know an ugly duckling like you will never have a chance.
What? Well, say whatever makes you happy. I don't care anymore.
As for my wedding, make sure to bring me a great present. Money, perhaps, even. That's about all you can do for me, considering there's nothing else from you that I'd want. Since ugly people like you can't ever get married, that must mean you have lots of money saved up, right? So you better give me a lot of that. To Mom and everyone else in the family, I'm the most important thing. So pay up.
I knew things would never change with you. Well, we'll see just how much of my money I'm willing to throw away for you. And you are getting married after all, so the least I could do is give you something to celebrate. Everyone wants to see the little sister celebrating her older sister's wedding, right?
Right? And it's not like you've done anything else for the family. You might be working a lot and making loads of money, but that will never impress anyone because you look like a burnt diaper.
And because none of them care about me, I've been able to focus only on my work. Are you still working at all, Tracy? I heard that you found yourself a job finally half a year ago, so how's all of that been?
I went and quit that job.
So you've quit again?
I'm a good-looking woman, right? A great woman, actually. And that means in the workplace, all the other women working get so jealous of me, and it makes my life very hard. So I really had no other choice but to quit that job, you know? Really, life as a gorgeous woman is way too difficult sometimes.
Tracy, you're already 32 years old now. Is it really all right for someone as old as you to be saying things like that about yourself?
What's that? Do you have something you want to complain about now? I'm going to be getting married now, so I don't need to work anymore. And since I've been gifted with such looks, I've never really had to work that hard all my life, unlike someone I know.
Don't make it sound like my life has been nothing but my job. If the man you're going to be marrying really says that it's okay for you to become a housewife after marriage, well, then I guess you've lucked out. And I don't have any complaints or anything to say about that.
He has also said that he really thinks my absent-mindedness is so cute. Us good-looking women are all a little bit silly at times, you know. We don't even think about the kind of money we spend and what kinds of men we attract. Yet, lots of men seem to really find that attractive about us. Crazy, right?
Well, that's good to hear. You found yourself a man who likes stupid women. Enjoy your marriage to him. I'll be looking forward to that wedding of yours once I get the invite to it. See you then, I suppose. So, Tracy's finally going to get married. How wonderful for her. Does that make you feel a little bit worried about her now?
Oh, so you heard about that from someone? Well, it's the truth, and I'm happy for it.
I heard about this from Tracy herself, and she seemed over the moon about it. The man she's getting married to must be so open-minded and kind-hearted since he's willing to spend the rest of his life with that hot mess. I look forward to meeting him at the wedding.
So it was Tracy that told you. It's very rare for her to ever contact you about anything, right, Kendra? I guess she really is just that happy about this.
That's what it looks like.
So far, most of the men that Tracy has been with have always been worn out by her personality and leave her before things can get serious. But it sounds like the man she's with this time doesn't mind her, which makes me happy to finally see her getting married.
Is that right? Well, I can expect that when it comes to her.
I'm sure that she's going to be a real pain in the butt for you in the coming months, but please, just let her have her fun.
I'm sure you guys are going to be having it a lot rougher than me, right? You and Dad?
But we are both fine with the man that she has now, and when she's married, she shouldn't ever be coming home to us, right? I think this is the perfect chance for all of us. Actually, we've been thinking about moving.
Is that so? I guess Dad is getting pretty close to retiring. When are you two planning on moving out of that house then? And where to?
Most likely after the wedding, and we will be moving pretty far away from here, although we haven't said anything about this to Tracy herself.
What? How far are you both actually planning on moving then? Mom! What happened to Tracy that caused this? What is going on here, Mom?
Are you talking about the letter you got in the mail?
Yes, this came out of nowhere and I'm speechless. I know it's Tracy, but...
I started to freak out over it myself and had to check to make sure things were true or not. And, well, from what I could find, it was just a mistake on her part.
What? What do you mean, Mom?
Hey! What do you all think you're doing? Why is there not a single member of the family here right now? How could you all do this to me? I told everyone about my wedding being today, and yet not a single one of you has shown up yet. Not even you, my ugly little sister, is here. What has happened to everyone? Answer me, you ugly freak! Answer me!
You really know how to make an entrance, don't you? Are you actually having a wedding today?
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I sent you all the invites to my wedding, right? Is an ugly idiot like you not even able to read the words I had wrote? I don't have time to sit around here watching you mess with me like this. I tried calling Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa, and even Uncle Jim about this, but none of them have picked up. And both Mom and Dad left my text on read.
I'm sure. And that's because all of them, every single person in our small little family, is tired of dealing with you.
What the hell are you trying to say about me? You think you can try to fight me like this now, just because you were too ugly for Mom and Dad to love? Who do you even think you are? I have nothing to do with your depressing life, and yet you're trying to drag me into it. Why the hell has everyone decided to not show up today without even telling me? This is insane. I'm sure you had something to do with it, didn't you?
I haven't done anything. If anything, this is all because of you, and yet you still haven't been able to catch on.
Huh? What are you talking about, ugly? Because of this, I'm going to cut ties to it and abandon you. There's no point to me having any relationship with such an ugly woman as you anyway, you freak. There's never been a point to it, actually. You are just the scum and filth of this earth. Like a piece of old gum stuck to the bottom of a table. All nasty and avoided by everyone that sees you. And now you've gone and done it by not showing up to my wedding today. My freaking wedding! I gave you the luxury of coming here today by sending that invitation. Yet you've gone and ignored it, you jerk.
The only thing I ever got from you was a letter inviting me to a funeral.
What?
There was never any wedding invitation from you. The only thing that came to my door was a funeral invitation for you, and that got me a little worked up. I went and asked Mom right after that if you were still alive, and that's when she told me you were, so I was able to calm down. But I never thought you were actually this much of a brain-dead idiot. Wow.
Brain-dead idiot? Huh? What's this about a funeral? Whose funeral are you even talking about right now?
Your name, as well as the name of your husband, was written on there. That's why I was a little bit unnerved at the time.
What? So what you're saying is that those wedding invitations I had sent out to you all, then they were all invitations to a funeral?
That's right. So we all asked the funeral home about the invites. But when we called them, they told us they were a wedding venue and that there must have been some kind of a mistake in the address. I'm sure this is what happened, but did you copy and paste some kind of an invitation outline and just print that?
How do you know that?
Well, there couldn't have been another reason for this, right? Jesus Christ, Tracy. You've been sitting there trash-talking all your guests when it was you that screwed up. Did you not realize you made some kind of mistake when not a single person was showing up yet?
There's no way this actually happened. No way. Are you joking with me or something? I knew that the professionals cost a lot of money to have to do the invitations. So I thought it would be easier to do things myself. And that's why I just went and copied and pasted some things from the internet and went with that. At the time, I didn't know what all to write on the invites for you all. So I just went on and Google copied the first thing I saw and filled it in with my fiancé and my information. Why did this end up happening?
I'm sure if you had just read what was written on that layout you copied, you would have understood it was made for a funeral. Did you really not read anything and just printed and sent whatever you had made once you filled it out? That's amazing, actually. I'm shocked someone in their 30s could even do that. But, well, because of all that, none of us got any wedding invites from you. So we didn't have any idea what to do about your wedding. I'm sure the same thing is happening with your husband's guests now too, right? I think you need to go and apologize to him about this right now.
But everyone my fiancé invited is here right now.
What? How could that be?
He went and made all the invites for his family and friends by himself, and so all of his guests are coming into the wedding venue right now.
What? So then it was only you that screwed up?
That's right. This is all so messed up! Why would something like this happen to me?
You're asking why? This is exactly what you deserved, right? You went and copied and pasted some layout you got online and just slapped your name and fiancé's name on there, not even reading any of it before printing all the invites out and sending them. Of course there would be loads of mistakes, right? It's kind of scary that you sent out invites like those for your own funeral, thinking they were for your wedding. I don't even get how you've made it this far when you can't even understand the most basic processes, like writing something out and then proofreading it. What has your husband been saying about this? Has he even said anything yet?
This is all crazy right now. I wonder if he'll be able to figure anything out if I just don't tell him anything.
Wait, what? You have to be kidding. So far, not a single one of your guests has shown up to your wedding, right? You know he's going to find out what happened one way or another. What are you even going on about? You told me before that men love your absent-mindedness, right? They think you being silly is all cute and such. Well, then he should forgive you for a little screw-up like that, right? He'll probably laugh it all off with you.
I see. That's a good point, actually. I have no other choice, really, so I'll let him know. None of this was my fault, but I'll let him know that there was some kind of mistake with my invitations.
I think you should tell him the truth about it, Tracy. I hope that he'll be willing to forgive you.
Why isn't anyone coming to my wedding yet? My husband told me that we could postpone the start of the wedding by 30 minutes in order to wait for everyone to come. But there has not been a single one of you coming. Because of that, the wedding's going to be canceled. And I got this vague message from Mom and Dad saying they weren't coming today. I have no idea what's going on now. What the hell has happened to all of you guys?
Like I was saying, Mom and Dad are tired of you. It seems that the two of them did go ahead and send your husband's parents a message saying they were very sorry for not coming today. But you are 32 years old now, Tracy, and you need to take responsibility for your own actions for once.
Are you tired of me? What does that mean? And if you all had known that those funeral invitations I had sent to you were a mistake, why didn't you guys say anything to me about that sooner?
Mom was testing you here.
What?
All my life, you have always been against me, saying the worst things you could to me, and doing the worst things you could, pretty much leaving you looking like Satan in my mind. You have gotten away with being so selfish about everything all the time, and have even made that clear to the family. When we all heard that you'd finally be getting married, we all let out a sigh of relief. But just before we could finally see you leaving the nest and becoming a proper adult, you made such a stupid mistake. Yet you didn't even notice such a simple mistake and sent those invitations out to us anyway. Had you noticed something was wrong and told us about it, we would have been more than happy to help you tell everyone a mistake had happened. But you didn't notice a single thing was wrong. And that left Mom pretty much thinking there was no hope for you anymore.
What are you talking about? There's no hope for me. So you're telling me that everyone knew something was wrong with my invitations, but you all chose to never tell me? You could have told me that my wedding invitation was actually a funeral invitation.
That's something you should have noticed yourself. Do you realize that the past couple of days after that had happened, Mom had to deal with everyone calling her and asking how you passed away and why this happened? I'm sure you didn't notice anything and your life wasn't affected by your mess up. But for us, we had to deal with friends and family asking us all the time about your death. I think that this time you should have been aware of what you'd done and actually taken action in order to fix it, right? Well, I guess it's too late now, though, as that test is already over. As for your wedding, we all have no plans of going there today. I'm sure it sucks having your wedding get canceled on you, but let's just hope you and your husband don't part ways because of it.
Are you freaking kidding me, you idiot?
What was that? Kidding you about what?
About the hope of my husband not parting ways with me? There's no way he's going to want to stay with me now after this. The wedding is being canceled right now, and his whole family is pissed off with me. They're all talking about ending our marriage right now. This is hell! I can't believe that it's all because of my family that my wedding and marriage are going to be ruined!
Is that so? But weren't you telling me before that it's your absent-mindedness and silliness that makes all the men love you?
I had tried to explain all of this to my husband by saying none of it was my fault. But for some reason, he got the wrong idea and seemed in awe about what had happened. His parents both reacted the same way as him, and now I have no clue what is going on. I didn't do anything wrong here.
It's because you keep on saying things like that not a single soul is going to want to help you.
What does that mean?
Are you really not aware that you're the only one to blame for all of this? Why do you keep trying to make it appear as though this is all our fault and that you did nothing wrong? I don't get it, Tracy. I really do not get it. You were the one that failed to proofread the invitation you sent out, and so that makes this your fault. And only yours. Yet you've continued to complain to me about everything while blaming me and the rest of our family for it. I'm sure you said the same things to your husband, right? You said to him that this was all our faults and that you're not to blame. No wonder he's in awe right now and not willing to work with you anymore.
But it's all your guys' fault for never telling me anything when you all knew I made a mistake.
Why do you keep going back to that?
All of this is what you wanted to have happen to me, right? You set this all up.
I set all of what up?
Because our parents have always loved me more than you. You have been deeply jealous of me, right? Because I am the best-looking girl around and have everyone's eyes on me. I know you've been jealous of me, and that jealousy has finally come out. Then when you went and got Mom and Dad and the rest of the family all caught up in your malicious plans and set me up so it look like it's my fault. You are a total witch for that. How are you going to take responsibility for all that you've done to me?
About all of that, Tracy, I don't feel that Mom and Dad have ever loved you more than me. I'm sorry to say this, but that's not the case in my eyes. It never was.
Stop trying to act all tough about it now.
Actually, I had asked Mom if it would be all right for me to let you in on a little secret we've all kept from you. So her and I had a little chat about it before she gave me permission.
What?
The reason none of what I'm going to say to you has never been said before is because Mom wanted to keep it a secret. It's Mom and Dad's thing anyway, so it's not something I should really be worried about. But I will tell you soon what that secret is. Also, you've always been saying Mom and Dad and the family have all cared more about you than me, right? Well, the only reason for that is because your behavior has required more of their care. So naturally, you felt like they've cared more about you and spoiled you. I happen to love Mom and Dad and thank them both for raising me with the amount of attention they gave. Unlike you, who has felt spoiled by them, I feel like I've been supported and raised by them.
What the hell is this? You're making it sound like I've been some sort of burden on both of them.
Well, that's because you've been one, right? They think of you as a burden, and that's why they told you to never come back to their house, right?
They did just tell me that before they stopped replying, but a burden to them? No way they think that of me. I'm me, right? I'm a gorgeous and silly woman.
And so what? I don't think you having decent looks has anything to do with what's been going on here. They've also told me not to tell you where their address is. So right now, you have no place to go home to, all right?
Huh? I know where Mom and Dad's house is because I've lived there. Are you stupid? If this whole marriage thing between my husband and I doesn't last, then I will be coming home to them. Of course, I won't have anyone else to go, so they're my only option.
Well, that's the secret I planned to tell you. Mom and Dad have moved away, and I mean out of the state away.
What?
Dad's been wanting to retire for a bit now and has been wanting to go somewhere he can have his own little patch of farming land. So they've moved out into the countryside somewhere, therefore even if you want them to spoil you again, it's not possible. And that's why I said I'm not telling you their new address.
What the hell? I never heard a single thing about all of that.
I told you it was kept a secret by us. So of course you weren't going to hear anything about it.
What is going to happen to me then?
I don't care. You're almost 33 years old now, and you can think about what to do with your pathetic self on your own, right? And wait, I just wanted to ask this. Are you married to your husband yet or not? And I mean legally, not ceremonially.
We haven't been legally gotten married at the courthouse yet.
What? Are you serious?
He was telling me that he wanted to hold off doing that until we had the wedding just in case. But now that all this happened and sent him into shock, he no longer wants me to become his wife. Why is this happening to me? Really, because of you, my whole entire life is going to fall apart.
I see. So he really was just your fiancé and not husband. He must have known that there was something off about you, which there really is. And thought it would be safe to wait until the last second to see just how mentally deranged you really are. Well, I have to give him credit for doing that.
Come on now, Karina. You're the freaking ugliest person I know, and yet you keep talking about me like that. I know you've been jealous of me this whole time, all because an ugly witch like you can never get married, so you've had to come and ruin my wedding. I bet you hated the idea of me being happy with a husband the moment you heard me say I was getting married.
You've always continued to say that your ugly little sister would never get married, and kind of based all your insults towards me on that statement, right? But the thing is, I'm going to get married, and the man I'm marrying is a business owner. So really, there's not an ounce of me that's jealous of the sorry life you've led yourself to live. Never had been either.
Huh? You are going to be getting married. You?
Yes, me. We've been talking about me, so who else would I be talking about? Are you even reading any of this? I'm going to be getting married, Tracy. Sorry that even an ugly woman like me can get married before you. We plan to hand in the marriage papers in 2 days, and the wedding is being held next month. Of course, you won't be getting invited to that.
And you said the man you're marrying is a business owner? That's a total lie. It has to be.
I've already gone and showed him to Mom and Dad, and he's done the same with me for his parents. Everyone in our family loves him, and his family all love me. Honestly, I don't need you to believe me or anything, since you have zero influence on my life now. We're cutting ties soon as well, right?
If you really are going to be marrying a man like that, then you should show him to me as well.
Excuse me?
No matter how they are, they will see me as more beautiful than you. And that means he'll be a lot more happily married to someone like me than you. Introduce him to me right now. You already have a job of your own, so you don't need him. I want to get married. I want to become someone's housewife.
Jesus. So the day you just lost your fiancé, you're going to prey on your own little sister's fiancé? I was starting to feel a little bit bad for you after all that's happened. But now that you've said all that, go screw yourself, Tracy. I don't want to ever see or hear from you again, so leave me alone.
Hold on a second. What the hell am I supposed to do from now on then? I have nowhere else to go now.
Don't give a damn. Go live the rest of your crappy life in some back alley somewhere, you rat. You need to live on your own for once, you very sad excuse of an adult woman. Don't ever turn up around my family or I again. After that, did she say anything else to you guys?
She's been trying to say things to me all this time, but I'm not talking with her anymore. I've also made sure to tell your dad to leave things be and not say anything back to her. Of course, if something very serious were to happen, we'd hand her some kind of a lifesaver. But I think that right now, she needs to start thinking about how to support herself instead of always relying on us.
That's the same thing I'm thinking. I'm sure that if she can pull off the life of being an adult, then you guys won't be so worked up over her anymore, right?
I'm really sorry your dad and I didn't do something a whole lot sooner about her. Just know that you can look forward to seeing us at your wedding next month, where we'll have something big in store for you. Let Gabe know that as well.
Gabe's already looking forward to seeing you guys again and said he didn't need any kind of gifts from you. And remember, after our wedding, we'll still be able to see you and Dad every so often. Nevada may be far from here, but we'll make those trips when we have time to. Now that you and Dad both don't have that baggage anymore, you can enjoy the relaxing life of being old. Now, you both have a safe trip back here next month, please. And don't forget to take care of your health, too. Thank you. And that next month, I was officially married and had my wedding. I had all of my family and friends there with me and was able to have a wonderful wedding. And of course, I didn't invite Tracy to come and join us. Her and I don't talk to one another anymore, and never will again. But from all the rumors I've been hearing about her, she had to get a job working on a fishing boat and has been doing that ever since. It was said that things leading up to that job were very tough for her, and that right after her fiancé and his family left her, she had to pay for her whole wedding herself. She didn't have that money though, of course, so she did the one thing that any childish and good-looking girl like her could do: sold her body. That did end up working out for her for a few weeks, and she was actually able to get a lot of money doing so. However, something came up that changed everything for her. And that thing happened to be an STI, which has now ruined her chances of working that kind of job again. She still had a bit more debt to pay off though, and so she took out a loan and used that to pay off the debt and the second month's rent at an apartment she found. But from there, things started to go downhill really fast, as she wasn't able to pay off that loan in any way, and the loan shark had her start to work for him in the fishing industry. I'm sure this isn't the life she wanted to end up in, but from my family's point of view, this is the perfect outcome. Of course we feel bad about the STI and all the other memories she's going to have to live with now, but life out at sea with a bunch of hard-working men should really teach her a lot about how to live on her own the right way. I have no plans of ever talking to her again, but my parents did say that if some point in the future she's back in from living on that boat and is taking care of herself, they would want to see her. Let's just hope that when a time like that comes, if a time like that comes, she's a completely changed person and acts like a proper adult, for my parents' sake. I've already gone and told them both that I won't be around to help if things ever go south with her and them, since my new husband and I will be moving to Canada soon. Of course, that's not far from the US at all, and we'll be making those trips to go and see my parents. But my husband has a business to run, and we can't have her getting in the way. Hey, Jenny, are you there? I was just wondering if you really grew up in those musty old public housing apartments. I had heard that you did, but I just have to know for myself. Are you really still living in a place like that? To be honest, I have to say that I was really, really surprised to hear that that was true. I mean, I just can't imagine someone like your brother Tyler coming from a place like that. I can't even picture it if I try.
Hello, Paula. First, I'd just like to say thank you for today and all that you did. I was glad that we were finally able to see each other after having gone so long without having done so. As for where Tyler and I grew up, well, yes, it really is true that we didn't have that much money growing up and that we were living in public housing for a while.
That's crazy. I really had no idea about any of that at all. I mean, when you told me, I know that I'd heard hints about it before this, but I didn't get the full truth until today. It made me sad to think about it first, but then I realized that it's really just goes to show how far Tyler's come and how hard he's worked to get where he is in life.
Oh, yes, I really agree with you there. I think that Tyler has always been the kind of person to throw himself into his work. I remember when he was little, he was already talking about how he would want to be a lawyer when he grew up. And even though everyone told him it wouldn't be easy and that it would take a lot of work, he finally managed to find a study plan that worked for him, even if he is a bit of a late bloomer.
Should you really be calling your brother that? I mean, you're not jealous of all that Tyler's been able to do with his life, right?
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I'm not quite sure what you mean about that. What would there even be that I should be jealous of?
Oh, come on. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, Tyler studied and lived abroad. He knows many foreign languages, and he's just a really smart, successful guy. He could probably go work anywhere in the world he wanted or do any job that he felt like at this point. And now he's finally coming back home to study for law school. He is just really the cream of the crop when you think about it. I mean, he could probably do whatever he set his mind to.
Oh, I see what you mean by that. Yes, I suppose if you put it all like that, then it does make my brother sound pretty cool. And of course, I think that Tyler probably could do just about anything he tried his best at.
Oh, come on. Are you still really just not going to give it up for Tyler? You still have nitpicks to make? Honestly, for a younger sister, I would have thought that at least the thing that you and I could bond over would be talking about what an amazing older brother you have. But I guess I can understand why you might feel a little jealous at a time like this. After all, someone like you might just get left behind by Tyler one day.
Left behind by Tyler? I'm sorry, Paula. Are you trying to tell me that you think my brother is going to just abandon me one day? Because if that's what you're worried about, then I appreciate the warning, but I really don't think that's something that's going to happen.
Wow, well, someone sure is full of themselves today, aren't you? You must really think that nothing bad could ever happen to you. You're just so sure that your brother would never leave you, huh? Maybe I just don't understand since I grew up a single child and didn't have any siblings at all. So you should really just consider yourself lucky for the time that you've had with Tyler. It sounds to me like you've been able to live a pretty easy life thanks to you just being related to him.
I really wouldn't say I had an easy life next to Tyler, and I really don't think that all little sister does is idolize her older brother. I understand that you're a single child, so maybe you don't actually understand, but being siblings isn't really like that. Or at least, I never really felt the same kind of adoration that you seem to have for my brother.
I see. Well, I'm so sorry if I made any assumptions about you or your relationship. I guess it's just that when I heard the truth about where you and Tyler came from, well, I don't know. I suppose we all have our little pet peeves, isn't that right? I wasn't trying to say that you were lucky just because of who your brother is. I just mean that, well, it sure is lucky that your brother ended up the way that he did is all. Surely we can both agree on that at least, right?
I'm sorry, but am I really talking to Paula right now? I don't know, you just seem so different from when I met you earlier. I don't know what it is, but you just seem more rude than you were when we were all together in person. And I guess that I just had this impression of you as being a little more nice.
What are you saying, Jenny? You couldn't possibly be insinuating that I'm being mean to you, right? I just know that you would never say that. But you are saying that I'm not living up to whatever idea of me that you had in your head, is that right? I guess that you shouldn't have just assumed who I was at face value. But I think it's sad that you think I'm trying to be mean to you when all I'm doing is talking to you frankly. Can you not handle a little honesty now and then?
Well, honesty and frankness are certain things, but I know way too many people who use those words as an excuse to bully others.
Okay, let's get something straight here. You do realize that I am married to your brother, right? You and I are sisters-in-law, and I am not afraid to use my position to cut you off from your brother.
Oh, don't worry. You don't need to worry about what I was saying. I was mostly just talking to myself anyways. Anyways, I heard that you have a job and that you've decided to keep it even after getting married. But if you and my brother have kids, would you still work, or do you think you'd quit your job?
Wow, you really need to learn how to ask just a bit more subtly. It's so obvious what you're trying to get at, but I don't really see why it's any of your business if I chose to be a housewife or not. So I don't really see why you think that you can ask me something like that in the first place.
I see. So then I'm going to go ahead and take that as you saying that you don't plan to keep working after you have kids with my brother. I don't see why you're making such a big deal of that, though. I mean, there's no need to hide that from me.
I'm not hiding anything from you. I just don't see why I should have to share every detail of my life with you as well. And just why do you care so much anyways? I don't see how my plans for starting a family with your brother have anything to do with you. And I know that Tyler doesn't care what I choose to do either.
Oh, really? Are you sure about that? Because I was talking with Tyler, and I remember him telling me that he was planning to ask you to keep your job, even after you two have kids. But I guess you're telling me something different now, so I just want to know what is exactly going to end up happening between the two of you when that finally does happen.
Wait a second. Are you telling me that you've already talked about this with your brother and now you're asking me about it? Not only that, but you're telling me that he told you something different from what I'm telling you? I don't really care what you think you've heard about the situation. I know that even if I do choose to quit my job, that Tyler is still going to be there to take care of me no matter what. In fact, I really don't even get why you're being so nosy into our business like this. This has nothing to do with you at all, and I really do wish that you would just butt out of what doesn't concern you.
You know, Paula, if you ask me, this whole conversation has been pretty pointless in the way that you've told me basically nothing. But don't you worry, I can always just go and talk to my brother and double check with him about all of this. Or rather, I'm going to talk to him and double check that he still really wants to stay married to a woman like you.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? What kind of woman am I exactly that you don't think that I'm good enough to be with your brother? You know what? I don't think that I'm the problem here at all. If anyone is, I think that it's you. You're the one asking me all these personal questions. You're the one being a nosy little creep. All I'm doing is trying to be honest with you and have a decent conversation, but you don't like my answers and you're being a bully.
And you're the ones that says my brother's life isn't my business, and that you're not afraid to use your role as his future wife to try and come between the two of us.
Jenny, are you there? You and I have to have a serious conversation right this second. Please, I need to know right now, is your older brother Tyler actually going out with Paula? Is that really true?
Oh wow, Frida, I feel like I haven't heard from you in forever. Where's all this coming from? Why do you want to know if my brother is dating Paula? What's that got to do with anything?
Is it really true? I just wanted to make sure that I didn't see something wrong, but I was actually just in town earlier and I happened to see who I could swear was your brother and Paula walking down the street together. And they were holding hands and looking all coupley and stuff like that. So I just want to know, is it really true? Are those two actually going out with one another?
Wait a second. I'm a little confused here, Frida. I mean, how do you even know about Paula in the first place? I didn't realize that you two even knew each other at all.
Of course I know who she is. In fact, she really hasn't changed at all in how she looks, but she was just a couple of grades above me when I was in high school. So I didn't actually know her that well, but while we were at school together, she was known for just having a really, really nasty personality. And we were actually in some of the same sports teams, so even though we weren't friends, I had to deal with her as a team captain, and she was just the worst.
Oh, really? I had no idea that you two went to the same school or that you were on the same teams. I don't think you ever mentioned any of that to me. But I guess I should have expected that even back in high school, she was still just as nasty as she is today. We actually met up and grabbed meal for the first time in quite a while yesterday. I happened to mention to her about how Tyler and I were raised in public housing, and she then just got started being really disrespectful and looking down on us for that.
Wait a second. You two went out to get lunch together? Did you really do something like that with someone like her?
Well, I thought that it would be a good way to get to know her. And it's not like she actually mean to me while we were together in person. But after we left the restaurant, she started to text me. And that's when she said all kinds of mean things about how my brother and I were raised. But yeah, we go out together to eat as a family now and then since Paula is married to my brother.
Wait, no way. Are you serious? You mean to tell me that your brother is actually married to Paula? Oh my gosh. I think that I'm actually in shock right now. But if I can warn you just a little bit more about Paula, she really is nothing but bad news. I mean, even when we were in high school, all that she looked for in a partner were looks and money, and didn't care about anything beyond that.
You mean that even in high school she was like that? That's crazy. Why would a high schooler even be obsessed with money like that?
I told you that she had a reputation in my school. Everyone knew her as a big bully who would always try and flirt with the handsome boys. And she would always be breaking up couples by having affairs with their boyfriend. She just wasn't satisfied until she felt like she was able to make a man all hers. I mean, she would even steal some of the boyfriends of the girls who hung out with her and called her their friend. Did you know that she even got with a boy that I was dating in high school?
Wait a second. I think I remember you telling me something about that. Are you telling me that Paula's that girl from high school that you would always complain to me about? The girl who bullied you and stole your boyfriend is the exact same Paula that is married to my brother?
Oh, I forgot that I had mentioned some of these stories to you already. But yes, I think that the bully from my high school and your brother's wife are indeed the same person.
Oh, wow. Well, this is all just coming as a big shock to me. I mean, I had no idea that the world could even get this small. But what are we going to do? I mean, if my brother married your high school bully, and she's really still as bad now as she was back then, well, then what's going to happen? Because I'll be honest, I really try not to have anything to do with her if I can help it.
And I think that that is a good way to go about handling things with her, but I don't see how you're going to escape her when she's married to your brother. Maybe you can try talking to him a little bit, tell him about how she's treated you and how this is a pattern of behavior for her. Then maybe he'll listen to you and divorce her.
I really wonder if something like that could work. I mean, I could talk to him about this, but I don't know if that will make him want to divorce her. Although, I have to say that Paula really does a good job of hiding her bad side from people when she's in public. When I first met her in person, she was very charming and nice, and I really didn't pick up on anything that was off about her at all. And well, you know how nice the house that I live in now is, right? Well, I think that she saw that, and that's why she's being so nice to me at first, but her act didn't really last much longer than that.
Well, I'm sure that whatever she did to the house was all because she sees it as hers now, but isn't the house where you live actually your parents' house? Maybe she really is trying to get the house somehow.
You mean that Paula's just pretending to be a good daughter-in-law to my parents so that she can get the house from me?
Well, I really wouldn't put something like that past a woman like Paula, if I can be honest with you.
But, I mean, maybe if I show Tyler the messages that she was sending to me after we met, it might help persuade him a little.
But man, this is really surprising. I mean, this is really a kind of clash of the worlds for me right now. By the way, does your brother still work as a manager for that huge company? Because I heard that he lived in a big condo and that he was living abroad and doing all kinds of cool things. The news about Paula is pretty surprising and sad, but it sounds to me like Tyler's worked really hard to make it in this world.
Well, my brother is a lawyer right now, so he doesn't work for any kind of company or anything like that. And as far as I knew, he isn't living in some kind of fancy condo building or anything like that either. Where did you hear any of that news from?
Well, I mean, this is just what I saw when I saw Paula on the street. It was her and a guy that looked a bit like your brother leaving a nice condo building together. And she was hanging onto his arm and they were laughing as they left the building, or at least that's what I saw anyways.
Wait a second. You're telling me that you saw Paula walk out of some apartment building holding onto some other guy's arm? Well, I think that whoever he is, it probably wasn't my brother.
But then, oh my. Well, I hope that I didn't just accidentally give you some really, really bad news right now.
Actually, I think that you might have just really helped me out in dealing with all of this. You've given me a lead on some information that might be worth following up on. Thank you so much for telling me about all of this, Frida. It really means a lot. Hey, Paula, are you there? I was just wondering about where you all were. I actually just touched down and I'm at the airport right now, but I can't see you guys.
Hold on a second. Are you telling me that you actually showed up to the airport? Oh my gosh, I can't believe that you actually came. It's not like you were even invited to be here in the first place.
Sorry? What do you mean? I am literally family of the groom. Why wouldn't I be here?
Oh, please, I know that you only came here so that you could leech off your family and score a free trip to Bali. But the only people that we invited to our amazing overseas wedding are the important family members, which means not you. You barely even count as family, to be honest. So, now that you know that nobody even wants you here, how about you just turn around and hop on a flight back home, huh?
Are you kidding me? Paula, what are you even talking about? I literally got an invitation to be here from my brother. What are you going on about? Are you sure that there's not some kind of mistake here or something like that?
Wow, are you being serious? You are just too much sometimes, do you know that? Did you really come all this way just to try and leech off your lawyer brother? I bet that you didn't even pay for this trip. You probably asked Tyler to pay for your ticket. Did you really think that you were going to get away with this?
I literally don't even know what you're talking about. Tyler literally thanked me for making the trip out, so I don't know what this is even about.
What it's about is the fact that nobody even invited you here in the first place. I invited friends and family and all the important people who I want to be here. But I know for a fact that I did not invite some poor little nobody like you to my wedding.
Okay, you know what? This whole thing is just so stupid. I flew out all this way, but if you really want me to go back, then I will. Just know that you'll regret this.
Go ahead and try to hit me with your best shot. But I know for a fact that there isn't a single thing that a poor little loser like you is going to be able to do to me. I mean, you've never been able to make anything out of your life at all. You were raised in public housing, and all your life you've just been relying on your brother and his money to take care of you. You really are just pathetic, do you know that? How about you try growing up and taking care of your own needs for once? When are you finally going to leave your brother alone?
Did my brother tell you that? Did he tell you that he was taking care of me and providing for me this whole time?
I mean, he's told me all about how you two grew up when you were younger, and I was able to read between the lines and figure out what he was really saying. But what really let me figure out everything was the fact that you were raised in public housing. I mean, only the poorest of the poor, I'm talking the most pathetic creatures on the planet, live in a place like that. So, if you were really living there, then it's obvious that the only person who was probably bringing in any money at all for you guys was your brother, wasn't it?
Have you ever actually tried asking my brother about if any of this is true at all? Because judging from what you're saying, I'm sure that you haven't.
I don't need to bother my busy husband with such silly little questions. But he did tell me all about how you never worked an honest day in your life and how he had to do all that he could to take care of his family when he was younger.
Okay, well, if he actually said that, then it sounds to me like he was over-exaggerating greatly the role that he actually played.
I should have expected that you'd say something like that. It doesn't surprise me at all. You can't even give your brother a little bit of credit, can you? But you know what? Since you've come all this way and now you're turning back before even leaving the airport, I think that we're just going to take this opportunity to cut all ties with you.
You know what? If you two really want to do things that way, then that is just fine with me. Enjoy the wedding.
Jenny, you have to come back here right now. I know that you can still make your flight to Bali if you try. Please, you have to come back. We'll give you a ticket and everything.
What do you want this time, Paula? Why in the world would I go back to the airport after I've already left to go back home? In fact, you were the one that told me to go home in the first place, remember?
I know, but I take back all of what I said. I need you to get back here right now so that we can go to Bali. Please, you have to come back right this second.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. And if you're looking for someone to blame for that, I recommend starting with yourself. You told me that you didn't want me to be at your wedding or to have anything to do with you or my brother ever again.
I know, and I shouldn't have said that, and I'm really, really sorry that I did. So can you please just come back already? I'll apologize for everything, so please just come back so we can all go.
I really have no idea what has gotten into you, cause you to suddenly change your mind like this, Paula. Literally just an hour ago, you were telling me the exact opposite thing. So why should I go back? What would be the point? What makes you think I even want to go on a trip that will involve you now?
I had no idea that it's all thanks to you that Tyler was able to become a lawyer. I really had no idea at all. But when I told Tyler that I had managed to get rid of you, he completely lost it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm just glad that you finally told my brother the truth about what was going on between us. But I'm afraid that you're doing all of this way too late now. You already said that you weren't going to talk to me ever again.
But I really had no idea of the role you played in your brother's life. I thought it was amazing that he was able to become a lawyer with his background, but I never knew that you were helping him to achieve that this whole time.
Well, the way you're making it sound, it seems like my brother might not like to talk about all of that either. After all, you were saying about how he was bragging all about how he had done everything by himself. So it sounds to me like you were both lying to each other about things.
But, now that I know the truth, you have to know that I have nothing but gratitude for all that you did for him. And that's why I'm so sorry for the things that I said.
As you should be. You've been nothing but mean to me, and even to convince your parents to shun me as well.
But it's only because I thought that you and your family were all poor losers. I thought that Tyler was the only good one out of you all, so that's why I tried to keep my distance.
And I guess now you figured that Tyler might have been overselling himself to you just a little bit. When you were telling me all about what he had told you, I was wondering how long these lies of his were going to stand unchallenged. But I guess the truth just kind of has a way of making its way out, doesn't it?
But it really is all thanks to you that Tyler was able to become the man that he is today. I thought that you were just hanging around because you wanted access to my family and Tyler's money, but it's not true at all.
If you had just listened to what I was trying to tell you from the very start, you would have already figured that out. But just don't forget that you were the one working off all of these assumptions, and that you were the one that told me to turn around and go home today.
I know I said that, but I didn't know the whole truth. You can't blame me for that, right?
But I'm surprised. Are you really telling me that my brother told you nothing about the way that I helped put him through school so that he could become a lawyer?
Well, he might have mentioned something about you being there for him and all, but I thought that just meant you were giving him moral support. I didn't realize you were the one actually paying for his school.
Well, it sounds like you and Tyler both misled each other, doesn't it? I suppose in light of this, I'll have to tell the law firm I recommended Tyler to that he might not be such a great fit.
Wait, no, you can't do this to us, please. You have to know that it really was an honest mistake. I really had no idea how much you make. If I knew, then I would have never, ever said any of the things that I did to you.
And there we have it. I think I've just read about all I need to from you. It seems like I have a few calls to make, so you two have a nice life and enjoy the wedding. After that, Tyler lost his job offer at a friend of mine's law firm. Of course, Tyler knew that the reason he had lost it all was because of Paula, and so not long after the two got married, they were already filing divorce. I still wonder if Tyler ever realized that he himself had a hand to play in all of this. After all, if he had never misled Paula, then she probably wouldn't have treated me the way that she did. In all honesty, though, I don't really care at all what happens to either of them at this point. I heard that after the two of them got divorced, that Tyler went to go and live with my parents, while Paula had to go and ask an uncle if she could stay with him. I heard that he said yes on the condition that she work in his factory. It doesn't sound like a very nice life at all. But that's just the way that things worked out. I didn't have a hand in any of this besides my brother's job. I would have thought that Tyler would have been more honest about our circumstances, but I understand why he would want to brag as well. Either way, he made his own bed, and now he can lie in it. If he wants to tell people that he achieved all he did without me, then I'll just make sure he's being honest about it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.